You're listening to the Rise Above podcast, the only podcast on the planet with a mission to help you live a free and uncommon life. Here's your host, Greg Smith.
Yes. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so glad that you decided to join me once again for the Rise Above podcast. This is Greg Smith, your host, and I believe if you desire uncommon freedom in business and in life, it starts with creating a champion's mindset from within. Well, today I have a special episode that frankly I was not going to release. However, it's a recording from a live video that I did on Facebook. And the video, I really kind of get vulnerable in, and I talk about, as some of you may or may not know as you follow along, a company that I've worked, since I was 22. So for the past 12 years, literally just kind of like went up in smoke in May of this year. And so the premise of the live that I did is called The 3 Tips for Facing a Necessary Ending. And sometimes you don't want things to end, but other times you come to find out that it's actually necessary for things to end in order for you to level up and to go to the next chapter. And so I couldn't be more excited to share this live video with you right now about facing a necessary ending. And as you go through it, I want you just to, kind of reflect to yourself and maybe think, is there something in your life that you're holding on to that maybe needs to end in order for you to actually flourish into the next level? So with that, take care, listen up, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, what's up, everybody? The more and more I thought about doing this live story tonight, the more I didn't want to do it. And as many of you guys have seen, I've been pretty quiet on social media for the last 60 days. And so over the past 2 days, I've seen a lot of my friends posting and having just some really awesome things to say about what's been happening. And so for some of you that may or may not know, but basically the whole thing with AdvoCare and the termination of how we get paid was last night. And it was really ironic. Right now, Stephanie and I are down. You can see the water here. We're in Seaside, Florida, and it's one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. By the way, my kids may just run up here and ruin this whole thing because we're inside this house and they're downstairs and what have you. But Seaside is this magical beach. It's one of the most beautiful beaches that I've ever been to. And we were introduced to this beach through AdvoCare, through being some of the youngest diamonds in the company history. And so we've had these meetings down here, and we always just had a vision of bringing our family down here. And so ironically, we'd booked this vacation 4 or 5 months ago. We were originally supposed to go to the Bahamas. Stephanie is pregnant, as many of you guys know, and we didn't want to go down there because of the Zika virus. So we pulled an audible and we came to Seaside. And so for me, it was kind of surreal that the last night of AdvoCare as we knew it, we were experiencing a vision that we had and something that was brought to us because of AdvoCare with our family, which was to bring our family to this beautiful beach with the most amazing sand. It's so seclusive. I mean, there's barely anybody on the beach, and you just feel like you have the whole beach to yourself. And I thought, how ironic that we had booked this trip, and then the last pay period, which was last night, I was literally sitting right there in this seat, just listening to the ocean and reflecting and thinking about what had transpired. By the way, I'm gonna sit. My arm's still shaking here, and so I wanted to share a message with you because I was reflecting and I was really thinking about why some endings are just absolutely necessary. And I've been thinking about this a lot over the last 60 days. And, there's really 3 things that can happen, with an ending is you can choose to face it. You can just stagnate and sit there, which frankly, I've felt stagnated. I don't even know if that's a word, but I have felt stagnant, for a couple of years within the business. And it was just kind of I don't know, there's something about it. And so you can either be stagnant or ultimately die. The business can die. And so here we are facing an ending last night. And so I thought about these 3 tips that I'm going to share with you today. I'll share these 3 tips on essentially how to move forward. And a lot of people have moved forward, but I don't think everybody has like utter peace with what they're doing to move forward. And so I want to share like how I'm choosing to move forward. And that's not this is, by the way, if you're tuned in, I'm not going to share what I'm doing. I'm just going to share how anybody can move forward. I have friends that are going into real estate, friends that are doing life insurance, friends that are opening up gyms, like all these different things. And so there's really like 3 ways that you can move forward with something. But what I wanted to share before I got into that is that as we're here at the beach, this is a manifestation of the reason we chose to do AdvoCare in the first place. Like, we are literally living a manifested reality right now that came because of this industry, that came because of this company, that came because of everybody who, played such a role in our lives throughout these past 12 years for us. And so it really made me think about these 3 tips. And so here's what they are. Because people are reluctant to do so. I'll tell you, actually, when this all first started to happen, side note, when it first started to happen, and my team will tell you this, those that we've been working with for 12 years or however long when they came in, is originally when this happened, I was like, we're going to do something. Like, this was Wednesday before Friday's news. I'm like, hey, what's up, Heath? Heath, actually, dude, he's the guy who got me into AdvoCare. Pretty wild. Forever grateful, dude. Seriously. And so I originally said that I would never do, like, I just wanted out of the industry. I was like, I want out of network marketing. I want out of direct sales. Like, this is my chance, to just like, I don't know, something. And what had happened though, is over the next couple of weeks, I had so many people calling and asking like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just, kind of sitting still. I was sitting still, and I had friends that were going to one company or the other. And through all of that, through reflecting, and I have journals upon journals, I take a lot of notes on stuff that, I want my Sam specifically, my oldest boy, to read one day and just know like what guided daddy's decisions, And I realized that I had always said, like, no matter what, like, I always said at meetings, and like, I would do this with or without the money because of the people, the culture, the environment. Like, that is the magic of this industry, is the people, culture, and environment and leadership. And it's just amazing because you're surrounded by so many people. I've had the pleasure over the past few years to be a part of some very high level masterminds that we have invested heavily into being, like, lots and lots of money. And I can tell you that the best mastermind has been AdvoCare for me over the past 12 years, just point blank. I have the best friends, the closest friends, like the best relationships. And I'm such a relationship driven guy. And so I realized after like swearing it off, like, I'm never going to build another team. And I told my team that, and I was like secretly hoping people would just like go do something. And oddly enough, some people did, but some people didn't. And so I found myself like just taking call after call after call. It was like a month of just on the phone all the time. And so anyways, I remembered why I started in this industry in the first place. And that's what I'm reminded of as I'm here at the beach with my family. And it was the vision to be able to do what I'm doing right now, which is be where I want to be, working from where I can work, which is my phone, which is your phone, whatever. And to give my family something that otherwise they would never have. And that's experiences. And so here we are, like, experiencing, like, my kids don't even know. They're so, I'm hoping that they won't be, ungrateful or entitled. We work on that so much because they're experiencing like some of the best things in the world. So here's my tips. Here's why I got on tonight. Because I want to help. There's somebody that just needs like walk through like how to make a decision, on the next step, because endings are going to happen, and it's about what you do when things end that will make or break you. like we talked about before. You can either face it, you can be stagnant, or you can just die off. And, unfortunately, people are going to do one of those three things. And so here's the deal. This is what guides these three tips. Is number one is you have to have crystal clarity on what it is that you want for your personal life. Like, what is it that you actually want? Now, we've talked, if you've been in direct sales or you've ever done like goal setting and things like that, it's like, well, what do you want? Why do you want it? Like, what's your why? What's your reason? So that this, like, what is it? Because everything that should come first should be like you and your family's vision, and if you're a believer, it's God's vision. Like, that's first and foremost. You can hear Maddie downstairs. So you have to have like, what is it that your vision is? And the real thing, the reason most people don't take, actions, or they might take ones that they regret later, is because they don't take time to get clarity on what it is that they actually want. Like what you want, what you personally want. This is called a personal vision. What is your personal vision for your life? Like, that has to be clear. Do you want to work full time? Would you rather? I could tell you what. I mean, there's things about being an employee that's kind of nice. You can check in at 9 a.m, check out at 5, and then boom, you're done, right? But there's also some downfalls to that. For me in the past, it was asking to have vacation. It was, having somebody who had seniority over me get choice of what week they got vacation or I got vacation. So my point is, like, what is your vision? Like, what is the clarity? Like, what is it that you actually want for your personal life? So number one is your personal vision. This is how to move any direction, whatever you're going to do. Personal vision. The second thing then becomes your business vision. Okay. So your personal vision, whatever that might be, like taking 2 vacations a year, being able to go to your kids' field trips. For me, being able to coach wrestling. I love coaching wrestling for Sam. Like, that's part of my personal vision. Whatever it is, whatever your personal vision is, then you have to clarify what your business vision is. So here's what it is. Personal vision, your business vision. This could be your job vision too. Okay. So if you're not into being an entrepreneur, which, by the way, like, if you're an entrepreneur and this all just happened last night, well, guess what? Like, you should never be unemployed, because you are your employer. So go find something to do. So the business vision or your job vision has to support your personal vision. You got to think about that. So you first have to have crystal clarity on what it is that you want out of life. Okay. Your personal vision out of life. Then your business vision should support that. That's the thing, is it should support that. And that has to be weighed. Okay. That takes, like, for me, I'm almost an analyzer to a fault, right? Analysis paralysis. However, I want to be crystal clear when I do make a decision. And so that's what happened for me, by the way, is it took a while for me to realize that I love relationships. I love people. I want to be around people that are in, like, this industry. And so I chose to get back into it, because I want to be like, that lifts me up. It's literally the most inexpensive mastermind that you could ever be a part of is this industry. I mean, period. So here I am, but that supports my personal vision. It supports my personal vision. So your business vision or your job vision, career, if you want to call it a career vision, has to support what it is that you want personally out of life. And then last but not least is the third tip, which is choosing just a vehicle that's going to allow you to do all of that. Okay, a vehicle or a job or a company to align yourself with, or a company to start yourself. Maybe you want to start your own company. That's awesome. Do that. Maybe you want to go into another company. Do that. Maybe you want to get a career, have a career now. Do that. Like, whatever it is, just as long as it aligns with what your business vision is, meaning how many hours you want to work a week, how much money you could potentially make. Like, that's something you got to look at. Here's 3 things off load right here. Is one, when you look at different jobs or careers or businesses that you want to start, first you have to ask yourself, do people that do that kind of thing, do they live the kind of life that you actually want to live? You can make a lot of money, but frankly, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money that don't live the way that I want to live. So, I love freedom. Personally, I'd rather make just enough money to pay my bills, have the freedom to be at home with my family. This is me personally. I would literally, and this is how we started in this industry, Stephanie, I made an agreement that said, as long as we could pay our bills, but we're home with each other every day, like, that's a win. Don't care. And that's a win for me. That's my personal vision, personally. So, point being, you got to look at, like, what is it that's going to support your personal vision? That's the way to look at this. But here's the 3 things. So, aside from the other 3, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but this is it. Do people live the kind of life that you want to live? That's the question. Do they make the kind of money that you want to make within that? Because I'll tell you, when I was 18 looking at a job, which was going to be being an engineer or an architect, what was the first thing I was looking at was the salary. I was looking at how much money were they going to make. Okay. I was like, how much money do they make? And okay, that was like a guiding factor. Well, it's not that money's everything, but money does pay for experiences. Money does pay for your personal vision, whatever that personal vision may be. So it does have to play a factor. And then you ask yourself, this is most important. Is like somebody that you're going to follow, is that the kind of person that I want to be like? Like, is that the kind of people that I like? So it comes down to, like, do they make the kind of money you want to make? Do they live the kind of life that you want to live? And are they the kind of person that you want to be? So those are some side 3 notes that's the way that you analyze a vehicle and a business vision. And then the way that you really analyze moving forward from a necessary ending is choosing and getting crystal clear. So getting crystal clear on your personal vision, what it is that you want out of life. What is it you want? A business vision. How do you want to obtain that? Do you want to work 80 hours a week? Do you want to work 30 hours a week? Do you want to work 50? Like, what is it? Do you want to be able to work at night, or do you want to be able to work at day? Do you want to be able to, like, what is it? And then what is the vehicle? Then you analyze the vehicle. Like I just told you, what is the vehicle that will allow you to do all of that? What is the vehicle that will allow you to do all that? And my last word of encouragement, as I'm on here, is whatever vehicle you choose. If it's another career, if it's another company, if it's starting your own company, that the one thing that is clear is that you should always have multiple streams of income, because you just never know. Even if you own your own company, the government always has, the ultimate say. They could take that from you. So you never really own everything. What you really own is what's in between your 2 ears. That's what you own. If you want to talk about anything and everything that you own, it's what goes on between your 2 ears. And you get to choose how you come out of a necessary ending. And so if you're just hopping on, what's up, Kayla? If you're just hopping on, you should go back and watch the 3 tips on how to move forward from a necessary ending. Because I'll tell you what hasn't changed for me is my personal vision for me and my family. That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. What is changing is the vehicles. What hasn't changed is what my personal vision is and what I want for my family. The other piece of it that has changed is the vehicle of how I'm going to achieve it. But at the same time, what I can tell you is I love to coach, train, teach, and mentor people, no matter what it's in. Coach, teach, train, mentor people. And I'm choosing to continue to do that because that fills my soul. And so, which fills my personal vision. And so my hope for you is that you get crystal clear on what your personal vision is, what it is that you want out of life, and then you analyze the things that will support that. All right? So that is it. Man, I was so nervous to hop on, but you know what? Hopefully it helps somebody, and you just get to hear kind of how I process things, and maybe you process them a little bit different. But I hope that my tips today help you process some of what's going on, or maybe just reaffirm the decision that you've made. So with that, we get back to the kids because I can hear them downstairs. Take care. God bless everybody. See ya.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.